Hello and welcome again to African Farming Narratives with Mag. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming back to our channel. In today's video, we are talking about farm produce and how most of the farm produce is wasted when it leaves the farm to go to the market. And we are also going to talk about what else we can do to reduce this wastage. A friend of mine sent me this picture of tomatoes that had not been sold and they went to waste. And it's a huge waste. As you can see from the picture, it is a lot of tomatoes. There is a serious problem with food wastage in Africa, even in other parts of the world alike. I was reading in another report where it says that 44% of all food wasted in South Africa are fruits and vegetables. And in Kenya, about 83 tons of perfectly nutritious farm produce is rejected every year for being too ugly or for just being off-putting for consumers, just because they are slightly disfigured or damaged or discolored. However, for the farming community, more emphasis is placed on production, and more production, without paying much attention to harvesting and the post-harvest losses that many farmers experience. With a huge amount of production comes huge losses at harvest, especially where the vegetables and the fruits production is concerned. This kind of produce is perishable. Therefore, great care must be taken when packaging, when storing, and when transporting the produce from the farm to the market. Fruits and vegetables must get to the market as quickly as possible and as intact as they can be. And in an ideal world, once they get to the market, there must be enough cold storage to keep them fresh and to help them stay longer. However, such is not the case in our local African local markets. I think most countries are the same. Most countries in Africa are the same. I won't be surprised even if that is also the case in other countries outside of Africa. You know, African farmers and their families, they struggle to get fruits and vegetables to the markets before they spoil. And wastage begins the moment growers leave their farms. And most of the time, it is due to the means of transportation of the goods. Poor packaging is one reason why wastage happens. In many cases, inadequate containers are used when transporting goods. Some people may use cloth bundles. Some may use woven baskets. Some may use sacks, you know. And by the time the produce gets to the market, most of it will be spoiled. And in addition to this, the distance between the farm and the market itself, and even the conditions of the roads, contribute to the wastage of the produce. And once the produce reaches the market, the storage facilities are not great. And in the end, it is the farmer who loses the most. Because once they reach the market, it's they don't take it back home, and there's no guarantee that all the produce will be bought. So whatever is not bought just goes to waste, which is a shame, really. So what do we do? What are the solutions to these problems? Because it is a lot of food that is perfectly nutritious, that is still good to be used, that is just going to waste. And I think one solution could be involvement of the government and involvement of businesses. Governments and businesses can finance and build facilities near the farms to process the produce into purees, to package the produce to go to supermarkets from there, or to process the produce into powders. But this is a long-term planning solution that the individual farmer, the local farmer, may not have any influence over. I think this would only work better if the local farmers come together and they approach businesses, and they approach maybe their local government representative in order to put this initiative into place. But it does take a long time. Another solution may also be to reduce the waste, or to reduce the waste is for farmers to use suitable containers when transporting their produce to the market. Using returnable plastic crates or wooden crates may help to reduce the wastage as they go to the market. Value can also be added to this produce if farmers can start thinking outside the box. I think this also does not, people do not have to be farmers, but other people who are interested in agribusiness, they can work with farmers to add value to the produce. In Zimbabwe, I'm glad to say that drying of food is very, very common. Drying of vegetables in particular is very common, and people at times will pay higher prices in the markets for dried vegetables. So that's one way to add value. You dry your vegetables and you sell them dry. But I think this is common in Zimbabwe because it is an adaptation to surviving. It's a practice that normally happens in rural areas. So most rural families do not have access to refrigeration or to electricity. So drying becomes a vital means to preserve food. But however, more needs to be done on a wider scale to help farmers to just reduce wastage, the wastage that happens, as we've seen at most local markets in Africa. Almost any food can be dehydrated and can be turned into powders or flours for use at a later date. And this can also be quite profitable to the farmers if they did this. Most vegetables and tubers can be dried and pounded into flours or powders. These powders can then be used to thicken soups and sauces, Dried fruits can be grounded into powders, which are then used to make drinks or to add flavor to add flavor and nutrients to maybe porridge. Dried vegetables and herbs can be blended and pounded into soup powders. The possibilities are endless. Industries can also use these powders. For instance, tomato powder. I know it can be used in as a natural dye in paints. The paints that we use for painting things, painting the houses, painting whatever. Tomato powder can be used as a natural dye, and it is preferable. Therefore, I think at a local level, at an individual level, we need to start, as farmers, we need to start having this conversation, and we need to start looking at how we can add value to our produce. And we need to start coming with ways of reducing waste and ways of getting more out of our produce. Too much is going to waste, and yet we can do more with that which we waste. We can do a lot more, and we can improve our economy, our personal economies. And also, I think at national levels and at other levels, a lot of collaboration needs to be done between farmers and businesses and even local governments. So that's what I thought I would talk about today, adding value to farm produce. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back to the channel. If you liked the content, please hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, can you please subscribe? And if I've left anything, or if you want to discuss anything, please comment in the comment section. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and remain blessed. See you in the next one. Bye.